game of the season. Everyone's talking about it. You know what? If you followed me at all, you know if the Lions are playing the Jaguars, there's two people who are the most qualified of anyone in the world to discuss this matchup. I'm talking about my friend, the guy who started the Big Walkowski. He's got an album, Mild Cat, dropping this Friday, the 16th. Is it out today? It might be out today. Say hello.
Yeah, I think it's out today.
To Jake Marshall Head.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Jake? Thanks for coming on the Walk On. How are you, buddy?
Great.
Yeah,
great.
Congrats on Calvin. It's
feeling good.
It's a beautiful child. Had a lot of.
Thank you.
You know, I shouldn't have said your baby's name at the open. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if that's kosher.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
So this is like a holiday between us. We have a bad Jaguars team playing a bad Lions game. I could not be more excited.
I'm over it, man. Why do we do this to ourselves? It's so bad.
And it was so clear how this season was going to go. I spent all the quarantine talking myself into a good offensive line. That doesn't matter. We've got the worst defense in the league. And I told myself there was no way I was going to miss this game. I was supposed to be in Jacksonville this weekend. Turns out the world had other plans for me.
Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome. My dad is super retired, and he really needed the company. He was talking about that all year about going to the Jags game with you.
And I'm going to shoot him a message over Facebook. I'm going to apologize that I won't be there, and I'll tell, cheering on one of the boys in blue. Who knows? Maybe I'll be swayed. But I do think this might be a game I bet like crazy. What do you think the over-under for this Jaguars-Lions game is?
I bet it's close to 60.
60?
I bet it's high, like in the upwards 50s. I bet we're looking at college football territory with this slop.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad you're here, because I was dumbfounded to see that it's 54.5.
That's like, they do such a good job making the lines where like, I'm not interested. That's like right when I'd be like if the line was in the low 50s, I'd say that's a lock. And it's like that's like right where I'm like, okay, but I still think that's good. I still think it will probably be above that, but I could also see this Jags team after this loss last week completely phoning it in. They have a lot of players that previously played that are now like out. That they're just going to be like, okay, we're pretty much shutting this guy down. Miles Jack is essentially done for the foreseeable future. Josh Allen's not playing. We have DJ Chark's not playing.
Yeah,
we have all of our difference makers aren't playing. And when DJ Chark was out last week or the week before, the offense looked stagnant.
Yeah, and
so I could see it.
Isn't Chenault who looked really good in like coming back from a huge injury?
Yeah, Chenault's dinged up. I think Chenault will play, but with the only reason the Jags are able to like spread the field is DJ Chark because he's so fast. So when you take him out of the equation, we just have like good route runners, and it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
you gotta have the separation guy.
Yeah.
So I really don't think the Jags. I don't know. I think the Jags will score 20 points, and I think the Lions will score like 30, high 30s.
Ooh, Jake, I was a big fan of James Robinson. I was like, he's not the fastest, but he's
actually very slow.
Yeah, he's a meatball. He's a meatball, but like he still gets the job done somehow. It's really incredible.
Yeah, he's incredible.
That's got to be funny that he's got the starter and he's probably like, what? Like, I'm an undrafted running back. You want me to start?
Yeah, you can't imagine that. Yeah, he was like, the way they talk about that guy is so weird because it's like every team was like, yeah, we We loved that guy. We just thought we didn't have to draft him, and they were like, all right. But like every team wanted him, but no team wanted to spend a draft pick on him, which is so sad.
Yeah.
I think that's running backs in general now. I mean, it's like if you're not like a pedigree elite talent, then they're, why draft them? Just if you get them, you get them.
No, running backs are at the best. You get that late second round, third rounder, and then you're set. Really, like that's where you got to be.
I think we've seen that resurgence of like the early pick running back. That's over again.
Not
like
in Detroit,
Ezekiel
baby.
Elliott, Leonard Fournette.
We're gonna draft
the Leonard Fournette experiment. Bad.
Really bad. I think they held on him for too long, expecting him to right the ship, and I don't think he was by the guy.
His fault. Yeah. I don't blame Leonard for almost anything that he did. He just like had the weight of. He had to do things in an offense that was just giving him no help. It's like Ezekiel Elliott has like world-class offensive line and a play action game. Like Leonard Fournette never had either of those things.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be as effective, if not more. It's just like, you can't ask that.
Right. With Case Keenum behind the center. It's like, oh yeah, he can do it.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
So,
but we do have, the Jags do have Gardner Minshew, who's like the feel good story of the last 20 years for the Jags.
Yeah, and he's a franchise quarterback, isn't he? Like watching him week to week, I've bet against Gardner Minshew a few times this year, and it's terrifying. I hate having money against him, and that's the highest sign of respect I can give.
He's good at playing quarterback, I'll say that. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. He's not. He's a guy that like if we had Gardner Minshew in 2017, we win the Super Bowl. Like he's a game manager extraordinaire. Even if he can really distribute, but he's not a difference maker to the point where you want to commit to him as the starter. Like you obviously want to bring him back, but if we have the opportunity to take an early quarterback this year, then yeah, obviously we do it. Like we're very much in the Trevor Lawrence Bowl.
You're tanking?
And we will be through the whole year.
You got some catching up to do. There might be a couple 0-16 teams this year.
Yeah. I think we play the Jets. I think the Jags play the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like that might become like Trevor Lawrence Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think Jag fans we bonded. We have a lot of like tough losses. You missed out on a Super Bowl because the Titans stole your playbook. You had a running back lose his penis. So a lot of tough breaks there. Mm-hmm. And I think you might look back and like, oh, we beat Indianapolis because it was 95 degrees out. And that'll be the reason you don't have Trevor Lawrence. I've never been more conflicted after a win. Like we came out week one and I was like, oh, I guess we won. Like I felt good, but at the same time I was like, this is not in their best interest.
It's like fool's gold a little bit.
What's that?
Fool's gold.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was also like up until this loss this week, the Jags were like a real threat to win the division because they had already beat Indianapolis. Like they match up with Indianapolis pretty well. Mm-hmm. The Titans looked like their season was over because of COVID and they kept breaking the regulations and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like, what if the Titans are like DQ'd and Houston's a garbage fire and then the Jags could like sneak their way. But then, obviously they lost to Houston and now it looks like the Jags just don't have talent to compete in the NFL. So, you can't win in the NFL without talent. Like you have to have it at some level.
So I'm gonna cut bait on the over under bet. In my history of cheering for the Lions, this is the type of game they play extraordinarily well in. They're gonna give me a sense of false hope. They're gonna get back into this wild card race because there's a million wild card spots this year. They're gonna rally, save Matt Patricia's job, and I think it starts this week in Jacksonville.
There you go.
So do you endorse?
That's the classic. Yeah, I don't think there's a chance in hell the Jags win this game. I would take. What's the money line? Like what are we looking at here? What's the spread?
The money line is -186.
I would pound that. So that's not that. It's not two. It's not 200. I think that's free money.
You think it's free money? So I put $300 in an account before football season. I've gotten off to a free spot. So let's say conceivably, if you were going to grad school, you needed to burn off a little steam on Sunday afternoon, and your account had, say, $875.36 in it. How much would you put on that Lions money line?
A solid 40%.
Ooh.
Like not your whole stack, but like enough where you're like, okay, I got stuff to play with still. But because what's the spread?
3.5.
I mean, I'll be on. I don't think, like, after watching the way the Jaguars play offense without DJ Chark, and then thinking about, like, if it comes out later in the week that Laviska Shenault is out, I pound that. I would go, no, there's no chance. The Jaguars offense doesn't exist. You would just have to stop James Robinson, which if you were able to do that, you win the game.
Well, what about D.D. Westbrook?
Not,
you get D.D. Westbrook on there, and he just scores 4 touchdowns for you.
D.D. Westbrook, I don't know what happened to him this year.
He was supposed to be he was supposed to be like one of the top for them.
He won the Biletnikoff Award in college, and he was really talented. But in this offense, I don't know if it's Jay Gruden's system.
Yeah,
I think he kind of got bumped out because of Shenault. Shenault's been playing a lot of slot.
Yeah,
and he just does so many different things. But yeah, I mean, you could see D.D. Westbrook emerging as maybe filling that Chark role, and Chris Conley's still around, and he's solid. The Jaguars receiving core is their strength. And if Gardner can sling the ball around, I mean, then they got a chance. I just haven't seen any evidence that would make me think that.
Yeah, and even if you guys are up big in this game, you might see a bit of a turtling. You're going to start thinking about Justin Fields, start thinking about Trevor, and then let that Honolulu Blue Wave go down the field.
Yeah, and the defense is, I mean, I don't watch a lot of college football, but when I do, I'm like amazed at how like bad defenses are. And this is the Jaguars defense. The Jaguars defense is all just like college standouts. It's not like NFL talent. It's not like you were like, oh, okay, let's put together an NFL level defense. It's just like guys that were good at small schools at this point. All of our stars are injured. Like Miles Jack is out. It's basically like Joe Schobert making tackles all over the field.
The Joe Show.
He's solid.
Yeah.
He's a good football player. He's like a point guard that plays middle linebacker.
Exactly.
But he's not going to force anything. He's not going to create anything with the defense, especially with we don't have a pass rush. We don't have our secondary is like one of the worst I've ever seen. And then like our linebackers are injured except for Schobert. Yeah. So it's like we don't have a defense.
Right. Show is just he's a guy who's like, I'm going to give you 20 tackles. I might intercept it, but I don't know. But I'll give you 20 tackles. But he's a good solid just starter.
He's the same thing. It's like if you plug Schobert into the 2017 Jaguars, like that defense is unbelievable. If Miles Jack's able to not play middle linebacker and play outside linebacker, that defense would have been like the best. There's zero holes on that defense if you replace Puslesny with Joe Schobert, because he's essentially, that's who he is. He's Paul Puslesny, but younger. Yeah. And it's frustrating to think about that. Like the Jaguars were so good such a short time ago, and now they're like they're back at stage one, and it's so frustrating. I don't know. It makes me like rethink, like, is this even entertaining anymore? It's not.
Hey, I know you, buddy.
Talking about whether or not we're going to let our kid play football. And, we've decided that we're not going to let him play football, maybe flag football, but like not let him play football. But now I'm rethinking it, and I'm thinking like, maybe we don't even let him watch football. He just needs a better life, man. I don't want to put that on somebody. That, like, now you're a Jags fan. You watch these guys.
Oh, Jake, you were sweet to the ears. I'm telling you, because with the Browns, with their losing season every time, it really takes a toll on you. And then with the Browns in 4-1, I'm waking up like with a chipper, like just I'm all chippy. I want to sing Disney tunes and stuff.
I
It's
know.
great.
I remember when they were good. It's like I remember how excited I was in 2017, and it really did feel good knowing that like you paid all your dues. Like
Right.
you could really enjoy it to the fullest, which I bet is how you feel right now. You've paid all your dues, and now you get to enjoy your Sundays, and it feels like doubly nice.
I mean, I just
know
remember,
it's just like,
yeah, I remember like 2 years ago when Kevin Hogan was our quarterback and we got trounced by the Texans. And I went to go build a shelf because I couldn't watch anymore.
Yeah, but how many football teams inspire people to learn carpentry? I think that's pretty cool.
That's true.
The Lions, you guys are talking about your good.
Makes you a better person.
You have your experiences rooting for good teams. Never had it. Still waiting for it. And now I'm such a degenerate. My only solace is, there's going to be a gambling advantage in the swamp this Sunday between two bad teams. And I think my Lions are probably the best team to wager on this Sunday. Out of any NFL game, like the Lions off a bye.
This is the lock.
Yeah. They're going to go in there. They're going to trounce. And winning money on this game is the only way I can feel anything positive about my team until they fire our trash bag head coach.
Yeah. You can't do that, man. I think that we're seeing more and more the Belichick assistants getting outed is like kind of system, he's a system quarterback. They're like system head coaches.
Totally.
It's
all you need to
just
know
because
about
you learn.
Patricia, he wears a pencil behind his ear. He carries a laminated sheet. You shouldn't be that concerned about branding.
Yeah, you can't write on that. What if someone slips one day, slips a dry erase marker into Patricia's ear, and then he's incredible?
That's what's been holding him back this whole time.
It's like, I can write plays.
Yeah, he can start writing shit. And he's like, oh my God.
I could have adjusted the game plan this whole time because that's what happens. The Lions always blow leads. They play man the entire time. Gardner Minshew is going to have 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns this game.
Yeah.
Is the weather going to be hot down there?
I don't know. I haven't checked. I mean, I guess the hurricanes passed, so it's probably going to be in the 80s. It's probably not going to be hot, but it's going to be not cold.
So
okay.
that's a good
It'll be
weather
thrown
bet.
around.
Okay, it's 80 degrees. We've got some rain, so that tells me it's Adrian Peterson weather.
Ooh.
We're going to give him 20 carries.
The Jags, that's one thing, though. The Jags are actually, in the way, when you're building mediocrity, I think you get to choose one thing that you're kind of sufficient about. It's like when you look at a 5-tool player, even the lousy ones are 1-tool players. And when the Jags were assembling this trash defense, they did pick a lot of guys who are pretty solid run stoppers. So you haven't really been able to just run the ball against the Jaguars defense. It's just as soon as you pass it, they're the worst in the league. They're the worst secondary in the league. So if you run on 1st and 2nd down with Adrian Peterson, you're not going to get in 3rd and 1. You're going to get in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5s. And then you're just going to have to easily complete that yard. So I wouldn't bank on Adrian Peterson.
Oh, trust me.
100 or making a huge difference in the game.
He won't make a huge difference in this game. He won't get 50 yards rushing. He will probably get 11 first down carries. I guarantee you that. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you,
I don't know. That's the one strength. That's the only bright spot I've seen is that the Jags have brought in a bunch of really good defensive tacklers. They're not. The secondary is terrible, but those front 7 guys are just really good at getting and stopping the run and plugging holes. And they're terrible. I don't know if we have 3 sacks this year. I think we have probably 3 or 4 sacks this year, but I can't think of a time when a running back embarrassed the defense. Joe Mixon had I think Joe Mixon had 3 touchdowns, but that was scheme touchdowns. It wasn't just I formation pounding it touchdowns. It was they got him. They thought it was a pass and it was a run type stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. Do you have a 3rd down running back? because I can see that person going
We've got
off.
DeAndre Swift. We've got Kerryon Johnson. They both won SEC Player of the Year, and they've been just shuttered to the side in favor of a 35-year-old running back. It's absolutely
That's the
infuriating.
testament to how good Adrian Peterson is. He's a really, I mean, Hall of Famer, obviously, but like world-class talent is still.
Yep, we've got peak football guys in the building, and we're going to run through AP on first down all day Sunday.
Just tire them out.
Yeah.
It sounds like, Jake, is that if they have a good front seven, it's like, okay, we're just going to throw the kitchen sink at this defensive line, tire them out, and then they probably, because they don't have depth really. So it's going to be, you wear them out, then just Matt Stafford bombs.
Yeah, it should be a good day for the Lions. Thank you for talking us through where I should put my money on. Honestly, we're going to have a better time talking about this game than we could possibly have watching it. So
that's true.
Why don't you tell us about the album? Where can we find it?
Wherever you get your albums. You can get it on Spotify, Pandora, or Apple Music. It's on some weird ones. It's on some ones where I was like, what the hell? And I was like, whatever. And it's on there. It's on TikTok.
Whoa.
If you want to do a TikTok video of Megan roasting me, you can do that.
Ooh, Jake, I got it from Amazon. So, yeah, it was good.
Amazon, it's on Amazon. It's on everything.
So it's everywhere. Check him out there. Jake is the best. He's a very strong comic. Is the Wigs bit on this album?
Yeah. It's the pre-closer.
All right. The Wigs bit alone. Check it out. I appreciate you wearing the Jags crossing the Delaware shirt I made you. Props for that.
That's the only good player in the Jags, right there.
George Washington.
Jackson DeVille. Yeah, George Washington.
Well, all right, Jake. Talk to you soon. My love to your family. Be well, my friend.
See you, Jake.
Take care.
All right. We have previewed comprehensively. That's the word for it. No one gives you a better take on the worst game on the slate. Now we know that's the best game for us to make a profit, because the real value, it's not with the Packers playing the Bucs.
No.
The real value is a kind of shitty team playing a really shitty team off a bye week. How's the Lions money line? How's the Patriots money line? And then you'll just have fun with the rest of your bets.
I think that's the way to go. The Lions game, it's gonna be a bloodbath, literally.
Yeah, so we're gonna go Chiefs. We're gonna go